doing today? So as usual, we're going to be making coffee today. But I thought I'd make it downstairs for a change instead of just making it upstairs. I have more room and it's just nicer, and I think the light is kind of better down here. But we're going to do things a bit differently. We're not going to use this today. We're going to use this. And what that is exactly, it's a lovely little metal V60 filter. I've had it for a number of years and I haven't used it in a while. And I don't have paper filters. So what are some of the differences immediately between a paper filter and a metal filter like this? Well, first of all, you can't really see, but like you can really see through that there when you shine a light on it. The pores on this are going to be a lot bigger. And because you have larger pores in this filter, what's going to happen is as the water flows through your coffee, it's not going to be retained as well as it would be in a paper filter. So it's just going to run right back out of it. And what that means is you're not filtering out your oils with this thing. So any coffee that you make with it is going to taste richer because it's going to have all those oils. Secondly, because it's made out of metal, how it absorbs heat is going to be a little bit different from a plastic filter, and how it absorbs heat from your brew is going to be different as well. So like the thermal conductivity of it and the density of it is going to be different from the plastic filter, and that plays a role in your brews as well. And none of this is going to say that a metal filter will give you a bad brew. What it will give you is a different brew, but you need to anticipate why it's going to give you a different brew so you can compensate for that and try to minimize any variance that you'll get between a paper filter and a metal filter. So what do we have to do to minimize variance between the paper filter and the metal filter? First of all, we're going to have to grind our coffee a little bit finer, and that goes without saying. Second of all, we're going to have to lower our brew temperature just a little bit, because when we grind our coffee finer and we increase the temperature, we're going to be extracting more. If we just leave the temperature the same, like our extraction level is going to be increased. So we want to bring that temperature down just a little bit. So previously with the Nemba, where I ground the coffee to about 20 clicks, I'll check my notebook, and I was using a water temperature of about 88, 90 degrees Celsius, I'm going to lower that down to about 85, 84, 85. And then we'll work from there. So what coffee are we going to make today? We're going to use what's left over of our Nemba coffee that we used in the last video, and another White Star coffee. It's a pulped natural Fazenda, and I am not pronouncing the second word because I don't speak Portuguese. But just remember as well, before we start doing any of this, write down your recipes. Write them down. You want to get better, write them down. Get your notebook out. Write in where the coffee's from, origin, what type of roast it is, what process it is, how many clicks you did when you're grinding, all of that good stuff. Write it down, because when you do, every time you can go back, and every brew you make after that will be better than the one before because you have a reference point. Now, without much faffing about and any much more of that kind of other stuff, let's just get stuck into it. Let us commence. And even though we're using a metal filter, same filtering rules apply. We're going to rinse our filter into our Sad Pepe mug, and then we're going to pour some water into our carafe, and then we're going to pour the water from our carafe into our cup. Good job. Coffee in. Flatten your bed, dig a nice nest. This bit, easy to hit. Be careful. Here we go. A little bit longer. Nice flat bed. Might have over agitated a little bit and clogged us with my pores. That's fine. Does get a bit messy down here though when you're doing your tap. Right. How do we do? That smells rich. And you can kind of see the oils floating on top of it. Pretty interesting. But the proof is in the tasting. So the timer didn't go off during the brew, and we'll see what kind of effect that had. I think I recovered. Okay, well, let's see. Ooh. Ooh. Oh yeah. Almost done. It's different. Relatively similar brew time. Give or take about 15 seconds. Yes, at the highly competitive end of specialty coffee, that's gonna be a lot of time. That's a lot of extraction. But for the sake of us just brewing at home, brewing in the kitchen, that's fine. It's very, very different. Starting off with how it's similar. There's still that similar level of kind of juiciness to it, but it's a different kind of juiciness. There's a bit more tartness to it. You can get the pomegranate coming through a lot more in this. Like you get that kind of that sharp kind of tartness at the back of your tongue. A little bit more than we did the first time. The first time we did it, the sweetness was kind of like a nice, soft, round kind of sweetness. It's kind of like you were having like jellies or boiled sweets kind of sweetness. It was quite nice, really pleasant. That's not to say that this isn't pleasant. This is still very pleasant as well. But that flavor profile is totally different. With how it presents itself, it's different. It's there. Like you can still get that kind of like a little bit of vanilla at the back. But the first thing I'm getting from this is just tart pomegranate. And it's fantastic. Even the mouthfeel from this, just using the mouth filter, is game changer. Absolute game changer. It's a nice coffee. It's a solid coffee. I recommended you buy it last time. I checked the website since then and it's gone. Typical me. If you did manage to... Can't let anything go to waste. If you did manage to get your hands on something similar, you'd enjoy it. And what bugs me about metal filters, you walk into a specialty coffee shop, they always sell them to you in the same way. And I'm talking about any metal filter for any purpose. Be it for V60 or be it for AeroPress or be it for your Kalita, whatever the hell it is, it's pitched to you explicitly as a, hey, do you care about the environment? Well, if you do, then maybe you should try using this filter because, you know, you'll stop using paper and that's really good because you recycle, you have less stuff to go into the trash. And that's fine. That's totally fine. But when you sell these things to people in this way, what happens is they think it works the exact same way. So you go home, you use it for your V60. If I use the same recipe as last time in this, it would be night and day. It would be empty, it would be hollow, and it just wouldn't be nice. And then people who buy these do that, and then they're like, my coffee tastes awful. What have I done differently? I did it the same way. It just ends up going into the back of the cupboard, and it's never seen ever again. That's why I think that these filters, the first way you should pitch them is, hey, do you want to have an extra twist to your coffee? Do you want to see a coffee that you like or a coffee you get all the time? Say it's your local coffee shop's house blend or whatever it is and you particularly enjoy it and you like using it for your V60s and you just want to do something different. You just want to play around with it, but you want to play around with a coffee that you're familiar with. Get a metal filter. I don't even need to tell you which one I have because there are a dime a dozen. You can pick them up anywhere. You can pick it up in a coffee shop, or you can pick it up, you can give Jeff Bezos your money, or you can go on eBay, whatever the hell you want, you can find them. They're very easy to get your hands on. And they just show a different dynamic to your coffee. And that's it. Do you want oils or do you not want oils? I mean, paper filters don't give you the option. A metal filter does give you the option. And hey, you can always just stick a paper filter inside of it and it works exactly the same way. Okay, that's my rant over. Let's get stuck into the other coffee now. Let's get to the bean juice. Now, ensuring that our timer starts this time, let's go. Again, nice, lovely flatbed. Nice colour. Smells nice. Oh, smells harsh. Yeah, it smells harsher than the Nemba. Cleanse the palate. Let's see how we did. Cheers. That's just empty. Yeah, I think I screwed this one. Yeah, pretty much screwed it. I get oils, I get a little bit of plum. Other than that, there's not a lot going on. You can get some of the plum, I can get some of the chocolate that's supposed to be coming through, but not a lot. It just doesn't feel like there's much behind it. Definitely down to me. I don't know how I'd try to bring out that fruit a bit more. I could try to brew it quicker, but if it seems like there's nothing really behind it, then that would indicate that I have kind of under-extracted it, but there's no sourness to it. So yeah, I just feel like I'm just kind of in this middle ground where there's just not a lot of anything going on. Yeah, I think I could try with a higher water temperature. Definitely a higher water temperature. 86 is just not enough with the metal filter for this, I think. My brew was largely the same as the one before in terms of technique. No, I think I'd maintain my technique the way that I have it because I want to keep that as a constant. And the first thing that I would do is I would run at my water temperature and try to bump that up from, say, 85 to a 90 and then just see what happens. If it's largely inconsequential, I'll keep that water temperature the same, and then I would go farther with my coffee and just see what happens and just kind of mess around with it and see what we get out of it, because Dara didn't do a good job. Quite handy that I didn't do a good job because it is 5:30 and the idea of drinking 60 grams of coffee at 5:30 is not a good idea because you'll be fecking up all night dancing on the ceiling. Thanks again for stopping by today, guys. That's gonna be it from me today. And if you had a nice time and you enjoyed yourself, hit the like button down below. But yeah, tell me what you think down below. Did I make a balls of this? Would you do anything different to what I just mentioned before in terms of kind of like troubleshooting the coffee? And don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.